Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Overflow Method podcast. My name is Arij. I am back in my regular home after last week's episode where I was a little more disrupted than usual. But we are back into regularly scheduled programming. This week we are moving on to the next layer, which is the health layer. So, the first episode of this podcast was giving you an overview of the framework of the overflow method, helping you understand what each of the layers are and why the framework is set up in this way that it is, in this kind of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs type of way. And then after that, we have been going through each layer, descending down. The last actual regularly scheduled episode was the personal style layer. So if you haven't checked that out, then go see that. That is a episode all about helping you curate your signature look, your ideal personal style, so that you can move forward in the world with more confidence and feeling more like yourself, which will open up opportunities to you that would otherwise be less accessible. So we have that. And then obviously, if you just haven't listened to the intro episode, what are you even doing? None of this really will make that much sense unless you understand the greater context and what we're speaking about. So today we are talking about the health layer. So the health layer of the overflow method is all about the body, because the principle is that if your body is not okay, nothing else can happen. Like if you have for example, if you have like the most brilliant vision and creative idea, an idea for your business or whatever, but your body is unable to do the things that it needs to do to implement that vision and really like bring that vision down into material reality through action taking, that connection to your vision doesn't really mean anything, because your body has to be good enough to hold it. It has to be strong enough to hold it. So taking care of your body is the most important thing, because without your body being stable and without you having a good relationship to your body and really understanding your body so that you can accommodate for its needs as you develop your dream life, like nothing works unless you consider that. Because what ends up happening if you don't consider that and you curate a reality structure that you think is your dream life because of all these reasons, but you never considered your body in the equation, in the lifestyle design process, if you're not considering your body, its natural ways of being, and its needs and limitations, then everything is going to fall apart eventually. It's like you can build a dream lifestyle and everything could be great, but if it's not built on a stable foundation, it's going to be a house of cards. For example, imagine you build a business and you don't consider at all your body at all. This is where burnout is faced by people. This is why burnout is a thing, because people build their businesses and their resulting lifestyles without even giving a thought to the importance of their body. And when you do that, your body feels like it's being forced, it's being pushed around. And there's only so long that you can push your body. Like, we are not machines, as much as society would like us to be that way. It's as it seems. As much as sometimes we wish that we were that way, that we could just be super consistent at the same energy levels, at the same productivity levels, day in, day out. As much as we hope for that or wish that we could do that, it's just not the reality. Like, the human body, this biological system, has a specific way that you need to take care of it. And it can feel limiting. Like, that's just something that we have to accept and come to terms with, is that oftentimes in the process of our dream reality creation, our body is the limitation. It's the greatest limiter sometimes. And you can fight that or whatever, you can feel whatever you need to feel about that. But that's just the truth of the matter as we stand right now. You need to give really strong importance to your body. And this is especially important for those of us who are creative or artistic or more, is it right brained? Like, the more fluid, or even like spiritual. Like for those of us who are more naturally inclined to be into nonlinear ways of thinking, it is so much more important for us to realize how important the body is, because it's people like us that will give the least importance to the materiality of it all. Like for me, my main reason for burnout in my past was because I didn't think about I bypassed my body. And I still struggle with that. That's why it's such a core fundamental thing that I'm talking about constantly, because I've had to learn the hard way. Luckily, I've never been in a situation where it got so bad that I fell into really destabilized states of the body. Like I've never been intensely sick or diseased or anything like that. So I have caught myself in time, but in the past, it's like I can see that if I had continued pushing myself instead of stopping and reorienting over these past few years, if I just kept pushing and forcing, I could have very well led myself into a place where my body just forced me to stop, I had always found it really hard to eat. Like a basic thing. Let's talk about the basic things that your body needs. We're going to keep it really simple in this episode because this is the foundational episode for the health flare. Your body really needs two main things. It needs food and it needs exercise. So of course there's like a lot of other things that it needs as well, but I just mean for simplicity's sake, when we're thinking about how to care for our body, we're going to be thinking about it in terms of diet and exercise, because those are fundamental things that every human being, no matter who you are or where you live, you have to consider. So we're going to go into that, both diet and exercise, and my recommendations based on this framework. But before we do that, I want to bring in the concept of this episode, the reason why the title is titled what it is. Your body knows more than your doctor does. So I already know that this title can invoke a variety of different triggered responses in people. But just to be clear before I even get into this, is that I'm not saying that you should reject your doctor or any other expert's advice or recommendations. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that you are the ultimate authority in your life, and you and your body are ultimately the only ones who know what is going on. When we go to other people for advice to help us navigate through certain things in our lives, we go to them for the information and the knowledge and the wisdom that they have access to. So what we've done in our modern day society is that we go to these people who are experts and we give all of our power away to them. And one of the reasons for this is because we don't trust ourselves. Like, we don't trust that our bodies know what they're doing. We don't trust that we have the capability to keep ourselves safe and healthy. We don't trust that we are able to know what to do. It comes from this fundamental belief that there is something innately wrong with us, that we cannot trust ourselves, and therefore we need to give our power away to some external authority, for example, a doctor, so that they can save us from ourselves or save us from whatever is going on with our bodies or health conditions or whatever. This conversation is not about rejecting modern medicine or doctors or not going. That's not what I'm saying. You should definitely use those as tools, but we need to think about restructuring our relationship with these health professionals because we need to take our power back. The health professionals do have more wisdom and knowledge and experience because this is their life's work. So if you come to them with a set of symptoms, they will be able to help you, but you have to take the information that they give you And you have to run it through your own system. You have to run it through your own inner guidance system. You have to be willing to take on the responsibility of making a actual decision. Take the information that others give you, and really take the time to think about it, to feel into it yourself before you go ahead with whatever action. So most people don't do that. It's like they go to a professional, and the professional is like, this is what I think, this is what you should do. The individual won't even think for a second, like, oh, is this actually right for me? Is this actually what I want to do? Is it actually like something that seems like the right way for me? Does this actually seem like the right direction for me to go in? They don't even like spend a moment to think about that, because they've given all their power away to the doctor. So then they're just like, okay, well, I'll just do what this person says because they know more than me. They're better than me. They're more informed than me, like whatever. So what I'm trying to introduce you to is the concept that, what if you were the one that knows the most? Because think about it. Who is the one with the body that is the subject of the conversation? Who is the one that is experiencing the symptoms day in and day out? Who is the one that really understands all the layers of your life, all the layers of what could be contributing to any disharmony in your body? The only person that knows all of it is you. So when you go to an external professional, they can help guide you, but you need to leave them as a guide. Like, you can't give them the authority to tell you what to do. Like, you can't look at them to save you or to parent you. They're not your parent. You have to hold responsibility for yourself and your decisions. And that means that sometimes you have to allow the advice in from others, and you have to build up a level of confidence and sense of capability in yourself to know when what they're recommending to you is not actually for you. And you have to build up your confidence up to a level. You have to build up your power, your personal power, up to a level where you're able to vocalize that. Like, for example, if you feel that there is some sort of illness or disharmony or something in your body that you have, and you have a pretty good sense of what it probably is, but then you go to your doctor and they completely dismiss it. How many times have women experienced this with their health, especially for reproductive health and things like that? How many times have women gone to their medical professionals with specific symptoms that they're experiencing for the doctor to just brush it off and say it's probably nothing? We've heard about these stories. So the way that we tackle this is not to blame and shame the doctors, because they also don't, like, it's not their responsibility. They genuinely, from their perspective, they don't know. They don't understand the level of pain you're in or the level of symptom intensity that you're facing, because they're not you. You're the one who's with yourself and your body every second of every day. They're not. They see you for maybe like 15, 20 minutes. So from their perspective, perhaps based on what the limited information you're able to transmit to them, maybe from their perspective, they genuinely are like, yeah, this doesn't seem like anything big. But if you get that type of response from someone and you feel like it's wrong, trust yourself and don't give all your power away to that person and their perspective. Trust yourself. Allow yourself to do what you feel is the right thing to do. If you get a response from a doctor that's brushing off your symptoms or brushing off something, but you feel that that's not true, challenge them. Have the courage and the confidence and the personal power to challenge these outer people that are meant to be guides for us, but for some reason we think that they're authorities, that they are in charge of us. No, you need to take your power back. Your body knows more than your doctor does. You know more than your doctor does. At a fundamental level, I mean, like, sure, they can guide you. Like I keep saying, it's not about rejecting them, but allow yourself to go down the routes that you feel like you need to go down, And then the second part of this conversation is like one of the reasons why people give their power away so often and so willy-nilly is because when you give your power away to someone and you let them be the authority over you, you are free from the responsibility of that. Just in the case of a disease again, say you come to a doctor with a symptom, right? They diagnose you with something, right? And then you go down a treatment plan. And you're not really thinking about it. You're just like trusting them, giving your power away to them, whatever. If something happens that's not ideal, you're not going to feel any personal responsibility about that. You're just going to be able to be like, oh, well, the doctor was wrong. Whereas if you had felt inclined on your own to go down that treatment plan and you fully allowed yourself to hold the responsibility and then something didn't go in an ideal way, you would have to confront your own self and you would have to confront your own responsibility in going down that path. But here's why it's still worth it to hold responsibility. The reason why it's still worth it to hold responsibility, even if it means that sometimes you might make a mistake, is that you retain your freedom. You retain your personal power. And when you retain your personal power, that extends into every area of your life. You think that like if you're someone who is the type of person to give your power away to a doctor, that you would be able to be in a business situation and not... Hello everyone, I am so sorry to interrupt this episode. Don't mind all the mess in the background. We're transitioning out of spring. I wanted to let you know the sponsor of today's episode, and that sponsor is myself and the Overflow Method coaching program. So the Overflow Method coaching program, it's basically a supplementary experience to this podcast. So the vision that I have is that this podcast is to give you information. And then the group coaching program is for those who want to take it one step further and want guidance and support on how to integrate these teachings into their personal lives based on what's happening for them personally. So we do this in a group. I'm doing this program multiple times in a year. And as of recording this clip, we're currently partway through round 1. But the way that I have it set up is that if you join before the program starts, you pay like the full price. And then you're still able to join once the program has started. But I decrease the price every week as each call goes by and the balance between recorded calls and live calls change. So for example, for round 1, the full price of the program is $2,000. And then now we've done 2 calls, so the price has gone down to $1,500 because now you're going to get the rest of the remaining live calls, 6 live calls, if you join right now, like as I'm speaking to you. And then you get like the replays of what's already passed. And then next week it's like you get an extra replay, the price goes down, and then you get 1 less live call. Or you can just wait until I launch round 2 and then you're there for the whole thing. But you get everything no matter what, but the pricing structure changes based on when you join. And I'm just going to show you this overflow of the lake. We have basically all the snow and everything is melting, so the lake is overflowing. And just a side note, this is one of the qualities of overflow, is that if you don't have systems and structures in place to handle any overflowing energy, it can be quite overwhelming. It can be uncomfortable, right? So that's where the overflow method in general comes in handy, because it's like not only are you building yourself up so you have an overflow of resources or energy or whatever, and it's coming back to you, but you also have systems and structures set up so that you can deal with it as it comes in. And it can be this like really beautiful reciprocal energy movement that feels good from start to finish. Well, there's no start and finish to like a cyclical thing, but you know what I mean. So that's it. Let's continue on to the episode. Bye. You think that like if you're someone who is the type of person to give your power away to a doctor, that you would be able to be in a business situation and not try to give your power away to someone and try to give your responsibility away to someone at the first sign of challenge or obstacle, No, it's like how you are in one area of your life is how you generally are going to act in all areas. So that's why it's important on a health level, but even just for self-advocacy, because like I said, you have the most information. So more likely than not, you will make the right move for yourself. And if you don't, or if you run into a dead end path, or you run into something that you're like, oh, I made a mistake, you at least have learned something and you can integrate that knowledge and therefore act accordingly. You don't have to continuously give your power away so other people can take care of you, because ultimately you can take care of yourself. That's what we're moving towards. Like when we talk about dream businesses and dream lifestyles, they're created from a version of you that is able to care for themselves, that is able to take responsibility for their life. It's not that you're not allowing in support or help from others, from people outside of you, like your doctors or loved ones or whatever, or other professionals. It's not that you're closed off to support, because also you'll know when you need external support. It's not about being closed off. It's about being the ultimate authority in your life, being the one who gets to decide what the final call is when it comes to really important decisions about your life and where you want your life to go. Another thing, it's like, this is going a little bit deeper. One of the reasons why we give so much of our power away to external professionals and why it's so difficult for us to hold responsibility for our health, it touches on our fear of death. It touches on our fear of physical discomfort and death, which is like a primal, deep level fear. It's like, to a human being, when we're in our animal-based consciousness, death is the worst thing, because death is the end. It's like you lost the game if you died, right? So a big reason that people don't feel comfortable holding their power when it comes to their health is because they don't want to lead themselves to death. When you begin to expand your consciousness and you begin to understand the greater structure of reality and the universe, and you begin to understand the cycles of life, and you even also begin to understand the benefits of things like sickness or deterioration or death. I'm not going to go into it in this episode. I probably am never going to go into this in this podcast, but you might be able to find content on this in my YouTube channel or other places that I create in. But when you are able to expand your consciousness to a level where you understand that there is value in death, there is value in sickness and deterioration and all of these like bad things that we've been taught are like the worst things ever, your perspective kind of shifts and you're willing to take on more risk, because you understand that the importance of being in your own power, being in your own creatorhood, being fully in control of your life, that is worth more than the safety that you feel being taken care of by someone else. Because also what we have to consider is, just because we give our power away to someone else doesn't mean that we're safe from death or from deterioration or from further sickness. They're also human beings. The same incapability and lack of trust that you project on yourself, it's actually valid to project it on any other human as well. Because there's no other human that is perfect and knows all and can see the future or anything. All of us are equally vulnerable. So would you rather that they hold the power, whether you allow them to dictate your life and dictate the direction of your life and therefore where your life experience leads? Do you want these other people to be authority figures and co-collaborators in your dream lifestyle design project? Or do you want to keep all that value for yourself? Do you want to hold all that authority for yourself and be fully self-led and self-guided? I'm going to say this one more time. This doesn't mean that you don't ask others for support. This doesn't mean that you don't lean on others or take on other people's advice. But you have to run it through your own system to make sure that it's actually right for you. Don't just go and do things because someone else seems confident. If someone gives you like an option of a path to go down, but it feels wrong to you, but they're like super confident about it and they're like, oh yeah, don't worry about it, it's fine. Hundreds of people have gone through this. It's like fine, everyone comes out fine. I mean, there is like a 40% risk factor, but like it's fine. It's like if someone comes at you with that, but in your body, in your system, you feel like something's not right, take that seriously. And sometimes all that means is that you need more information on your own. You need to do your research personally before your body and your system gives you the green light to go ahead. Like that path might still be the right path for you based on what you're dealing with. But you have to get to a place where you feel like you're making that decision yourself, not that you're being pressured or forced into that decision by anyone outside of you. Because if you do that, you're going to constantly get stuck and trapped in a cycle of like victim consciousness. So when we look for saviors, the other side of the savior role is the victim. The savior saves the victim from their suffering. All the power is given to the savior. But at the same time, if the savior doesn't do what the victim wants it to do, the savior gets canceled or a mob goes after the savior. Like if you don't want to play that game anymore, if you don't want to play the victim savior role anymore, and you don't want to constantly be fluctuating between this because it's exhausting and because it's just like a waste of your energy and it's a waste of your power, if you want to exit out of that, you have to hold responsibility for your own life. And therefore, then you also, here's the other thing. If you give all your power away to the savior, they hold the power. The person who is taking care of you is the one that gets to control the way your reality looks. Think about that. Let's bring this down into like a more human, like a more everyday example. When you're living with your parents, how much control do you have over your life? Like you hear it all the time, right? It's like if you have an argument or you want to do something differently, but your parents disagree, they're like, as long as you're under my roof, you have to do what I say. That's what happens when other people take care of you. And it, again, like sometimes we, like when we're vulnerable or sometimes life puts us in a situation where we do need caretakers. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you're in a situation where you do have the capacity to take responsibility for your life and for yourself, then it is beneficial to remove any of these distorted energetics with people and be fully sovereign in yourself and be fully in responsibility with yourself, because that is how you create your dream life. Retaining your power is the way that you get to keep full control over the direction of your life and what happens in it. No one is your authority. No one is higher than you. No one gets to tell you what to do. But you have to, in a way, it's like you have to earn your way up to that. You have to show yourself that you are capable because you have to be able to take care of yourself, right? So yeah, bringing it back down into like the concepts of diet and exercise and taking care of your body, like even beyond external professionals, it's like things with diet and exercise. Every few years, the guidelines on what you're supposed to eat and what you're supposed to do for exercise, they change. And are you the type of person that just gets dragged with every change? 10 years ago, you were vegan because that's what everyone was doing in the wellness space. And then carnivore diet went popular. And so people, like, are you someone who lets yourself be dragged and your life structure to be dictated by these like people and forces and guidelines outside of you? Or are you someone that actually is connected to your body and is connected to your own needs and your own rhythms, and you allow your diet structure and your exercise structure to be informed by that? So I'll tell you a story where I was feeling the symptom of super low energy recently, like for the past few years. Like I just felt like I couldn't do what I needed to do because I just felt chronically fatigued. So my inner knowing had obviously kicked in, and I knew that the first thing I needed to do was make sure that I ate consistently, because at my peak or at my like trough, at the lowest moment, I was eating like one meal a day at the end of the day. And so obviously it's like I'm going to feel chronic fatigue if I'm ignoring my meals for most of the day, because I'd rather work on stuff because I don't give my body importance, like I was talking about. So that was step one. And then when I started eating multiple meals in a day, I started gaining weight and I started feeling not so great. Not just in like how I looked. It wasn't anything like severe or anything, but I just like I didn't feel fit and I didn't look fit. And so that then guided me into contemplating what to do. And that's when I listened to this podcast episode from Andrew Huberman, which I'll leave in the description. And it was like an overview of the current research on diet and exercise. And what that did was it gave me a framework of knowledge to inform my next decisions. They talked a lot about getting enough protein in your meals. And so I realized that my meals were basically all carb based, because I used to be a vegetarian for a while and I have this like weird texture thing with meat. I preferred non-meat types of foods, and so my plate would be mostly carbohydrate based. And what this was doing is that because I would eat like this much protein in my day, it was giving me intense energy crashes and unstable energy levels throughout the day. Especially if I ate that extra meal that I needed to eat, it was making it worse, because it's like if I just didn't eat, I could stay awake for the day and do what I needed to do, even though I felt tired. But if I did eat, then I would have an intense crash around like 2 to 3 p.m. and I'd have to take a nap, and that would like block my flow, my creative flow. So through that podcast and through the things that they recommended, I started experimenting based on their information. And I downloaded the app that they were recommending. It's called Carbon, and you track all your meals and you understand how many grams of protein, what your macro split is. Oh my God, that helped me so much. So see, this is an example of using external tools to help you in your mission of stabilizing your health layer, your mission of taking care of your body. So I did that for 2 months. I learned so much about how to design my meals for my optimal body functioning. And then 2 months later, I just felt like I didn't need to use that app anymore. I didn't need to track all of those meals anymore, and I could just kind of free flow because of what I had learned. I knew what I needed to include in every meal to feel good, like how much chicken to put on my plate versus how much rice, and I learned all this stuff. And so I then took my power back from the app and the tracking, and now I've been fine and I feel great and I still don't have those crashes. So it's allowing yourself to be flexible with how you integrate external frameworks. They're there to help you. They're there as tools and they work. But ultimately, you have to pay attention to your own body's needs. Same with exercise. It's for my entire life, I thought I just wasn't an exercise person, because what I saw when people recommended exercise was these high intensity workouts. And every time I would try to do that, I would just crash. My body just, at least in its current state, and especially because I wasn't eating, it couldn't sustain the high intensity workouts. And so I would do yoga. And then now it's as I started eating better, as I started incorporating more protein, naturally I was able to incorporate more high intensity workouts. But it's the point I'm making here is you have to be in communication with your body, and you have to give your body and yourself the ultimate authority. You can use these external frameworks and external guidances as tools to help you figure out what the best structure is for you to take care of your body. But you have to approach it more as an experimentation and not as an end-all be-all. If someone's oh, this diet is worked perfectly for me and it solved all these issues, it's great, that's great for them. Now take what resonates from that framework, apply it to yourself, and pay attention to how your body's reacting. Don't just bypass what your body, it's if someone's oh my God, eating a cucumber every single day healed all my acne, for example. That's a random example. But then you start eating a cucumber every day and you try it and it actually makes something worse or makes your acne worse. maybe you should reconsider that and not just be like, oh, well, but this person, I'm going to give my power away to this person who said it works. So therefore it does work. So I'm just going to keep forcing myself to eat a cucumber, even though the results aren't giving me what I thought they would give me. It's about being flexible, being in open communication with your body. And at the end of the day, giving yourself the ultimate authority over what direction to take. Because only you know what is going to work for you. No one outside of you knows what's going to work for you. And this applies to every realm of your life. When it comes to dream life creation, you can't create your dream, like no one's going to create your dream life for you. You have to create your dream life because you're the only one that is connected to the vision of what that even means or what that even looks like. And in order for you to create your dream life and really materialize it and bring it into your day-to-day experience, you have to take responsibility for your life. You have to take responsibility, like you have to take ownership of your decision making. You have to decide that you're the one leading yourself. You're not giving the control to someone else in exchange for them taking care of you and keeping you safe. You have to build up a level of confidence and sense of capability where you feel like you're capable of keeping yourself safe. You have to do things to strengthen your skills so that you can feel confident in yourself. And sometimes that means that we need to lean on others for help or support until we get there. But that's the goal. That's the direction you have to move in, is full self-ownership and self-responsibility and leading yourself. And because you're the only one who knows where you're trying to go. You're the only one who has the vision of the destination. Everyone else has their own destination. So, yeah, that's the end of this podcast episode. Let me know what your reflections are. Share this video or this podcast episode or just this podcast in general with anyone that you feel would resonate. Other than that, I have a private membership space called the Golden Age Frequency. I have some digital products for sale to help you integrate a lot of what I speak about into your life. And then I have the Overflow Method program, which I did a little insert ad for earlier in this episode. So all of the links to everything that can help you go deeper into my world and into my offerings are in the description. Follow your resonance, follow your inner guidance, trust yourself. Trust that you know more than anyone else. You know more than me about your own life and what's good for you and what's not good for you. Anytime you take in information from anyone, including me, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. My path is different than your path. Your path is different from anyone else's path. You're the ultimate authority of your life. You're the only one who's connected to your dream life vision, and no one else can take you there except for you. So I love you. Thank you for listening this week. I will see you soon, or you'll hear from me soon. You can also follow me on Instagram and other things, Substack. Love you. Bye.